Well, hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. I did put a channel on there that actually was going to send everybody my way. So if that happened, if you could go ahead and subscribe to them, I would greatly appreciate that. Um, and I hope everybody is doing well today. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to come on in. Um, and then we can get it going. So give me just a minute. I hope everybody's doing well, right? Give me just a second, everybody. I forgot to do this. I forgot to do this. And I'm going to address a little bit. My topic is still the same. It's still what have I learned, or the biggest lesson that I have learned that's still there. But I'm kind of taking it in a direction that's going to be a little different, and I'll explain in a minute. All right. Because I'm going to make sure that it's, I want to do it in the best way. So give me a minute. All right. I appreciate that for a second because I forgot to do those little steps. Today is the normal time that we ripple off the lifeboat. And it really saddens me. You can see my mic's not orange. I don't have my necklace on. It saddens me that YouTube has said that this is going to start dinging people. So it means that is not going to take place anymore. Now, I want to give a big shout out to Captain Calhoun because he said, I will not monetize myself on Tuesday so I can celebrate. You want to celebrate your birthday with the crew. I want people to understand why. And this kind of goes into this topic, and I appreciate that, and I will do that. This is not to get a pat on the back for my birthday. This is to give back. And it has from day one going to ripple off the lifeboat. Day one. Because I can say that this kind of goes into the topic for today. The biggest lesson I've learned. And it literally is almost in a 6-month period. The 6 months prior to this and the 6 months after it. Connection has been the biggest lesson that I have learned, okay, over the 6-month period. It hasn't been it's been life-changing, but it hasn't been groundbreaking. What I'm realizing in the process is nobody knows how to do this anymore. And it's kind of why we started Lighthouse Mondays, because we wanted people to come in, forget about the person behind the mic, but the magic happens within the chat. But what I'm realizing is nobody knows how to do it without somebody sitting here kind of taking and directing it. So we have to get back into that. Now, if YouTube has taken away and said, if you do this, you're going to get dinged a little bit, because we want everybody to be unique, even though they bring uniqueness when you do that. Well, thank you for coming in. Even though the uniqueness, thank you so much. Even though the uniqueness is there. Hi, Fairbrook Studio. Even though when people, hold on a second, y'all. Start talking in the chat. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. That was the daughter. Daughter comes first, right? Always, right? So getting back to my little train of thought here is, if when people simulcast off of the YouTubes and they're doing one and they're simulcasting and they're doing it to their channel, they are bringing their own uniqueness to that live stream. And if YouTube has said, guess what? This is something that we're going to start dinging people for because we want everybody to have unique content, all that kind of stuff. Understandable. No, I totally don't agree with it. But let's not forget, especially the people, and if you haven't checked the lifeboat out, go check it out. Especially the people that are lifeboat crew members. Let's not forget about the ripples that have come off the lifeboat. Let's not forget how important those are, and the connections there, and the support that you can give, and the different perspectives. I know recently I did a topic on forgiveness. Well, so did Admiral Tommy. And then I think Calhoun talked about it. They all did a very, very different perspective. And it saddens me that has to stop. And I hope there's a way to, in one way or another, be able to do it. Because, yep. Welcome, Joe Cool. It saddens me. It really does. Because I was not, and this channel was not rippling off of the boat. The benefit was exposure, yes, and the benefit was to grow, yes, all that. But we were giving back to the boat, because there has been such a difference in my life pre-December of 2023 to after. Am I ever going to go back to that? Oh no, not this girl. We're not doing that. Hi, Dawn. We're not doing that. I'm not. I can't go back. And I want to just be able to come on Tuesday on the boat. I'm thankful that Captain Calhoun has agreed to do it, so that he, in a way, he is. That's okay. I appreciate that, Empty Wellness. I did post the link for the business one, and that's fine. People will know that it's upcoming, and that's fine. I appreciate that. I can't redirect anybody yet because we're not at 1,000. When I'm going to absolutely do that. But I'm not doing the birthday to have everybody blessed to have you all wish me happy birthday. But understand that my birthdays forever have changed. We all go through that, don't want to get a year older and all that kind of stuff. But my birthdays are always in consecutive to Father's Day. Father's Day this year is on the 16th, and my birthday, yes, my birthday is on the 6th, or my Father's Day is there, and my birthday is the 18th. It either is somewhere within the vicinity of it, or it's on the day of. My father passed away in 2021. Some years are harder than others, and I don't know why this year is hard. It just is. I found myself sitting in my therapist's office sitting going, why do I just want to be in a corner and forget that I'm existing? And I connected the dots, and I thought, yep, that's it. That's why. Well, your birthday is on the 17th. Well, Lisa, here's an happy early birthday. You get the birthday. There you go. You get the birthday cupcake right now. So happy birthday. And it does. It makes it hard. I think that because the adoption for my husband and our adult daughter came through this year. Last year, we also took my dad's trigger warning, his ashes from the cemetery in Navy Cemetery. He was in a columbarium, and brought them here so that we could re-intern them up near a cemetery here. We haven't done that yet because of various circumstances. And I think because we have to do that in the fall, that's probably bringing it back. I don't know what it is. But the reason why I want to surround myself with connection on Tuesday is because I know myself. I know that day is going to be tough. And my go-to underneath tough situations is to run to food. Now, with that being said, I have to figure out my schedule that day because now I'm still going to ripple off the lifeboat at 2:30. Celebrate my birthday with my lifeboat family. And, on the YouTubes. And then I did plan for my giveaway and my birthday party with our community to happen at 6:00. I may change that. Now it's my birthday. And I said, what do I want to do? And I thought, you know what? There's a place we love getting a cake from. I'm going to go get a cake, and I want to get some fried chicken. I know that's not at all healthy. I know that's not great. And so forth, and watch a movie and have a salad. And that's what I want to do with my birthday. But I want to make sure that the entire day I'm connected. If my birthday did not fall around Father's Day, then the last thing that I needed to do was go to the place that I like getting the cakes from and the fried chicken and go to town. I don't still need to go to town. But that would be the last thing I needed to do. But because it is my birthday, I'm going to enjoy it. And that's it. On Sunday, we will be we're going to my husband's grandmother's birthday. We're going to be coming back Saturday. Excuse me. And we're going to be coming back Saturday. And Sunday, we're going to go to church. So what am I doing? I'm surrounding myself with connection. My daughter's coming over. This is the first, my husband's been, my daughter's father since we got married. and treated her like her own. We're still going to really, it's an important day. It's his first his official Father's Day with her. So we're going to come back. We're going to probably have hot dogs, simple stuff, and just enjoy a movie and enjoy the time together. But what am I going to do that day? I know that that's going to be a day I want to just hide away. I don't want to have anything to do with anybody. And it's not anybody here. It's just the way that, let me see how quickly I can get through the day to make when I get up in the morning to when I go to bed and forget the day exists. And I can't, because even though my dad isn't here, it's a really important day for my husband. And I need to make sure that that happens. And what do I need to do for my birthday? I need to not dive into anything. I need to dive into connection. I will be in a lot of live chats. I'm going to be on the lifeboat. I'm going to be with my community. I'm going to be inundated myself with connection. I'm going to enjoy whatever birthday meal I choose to do, and that probably will be just somebody else doing it. I don't want to cook it. I'll enjoy a small little birthday cake and a couple pieces, and that's it. But I'm going to inundate myself with connection. And I don't think that I could say what I'm going to say next better than Admiral Tommy. I don't think I could. I really don't think I could. So I took a snip of a little video clip, I know he won't mind, of something that he said to me when one day in February, I was drinking my coffee and I didn't want anything to do with anybody. I was literally crying in my coffee. And I'm sitting there going, I don't want to go into the lifeboat. First of all, when I joined the lifeboat, I didn't think I needed it. Boy, was I wrong. Well, I'll go and support it. I got it from Aaron, was growing up in Scientology. I'll go and so, I don't really need this. I'm not addicted to, drugs and alcohol. I don't need it. Well, you know what? It's, as they said, it's the platform is really turned into connection. And that changed for me in December when my aunt was diagnosed with liver and lung cancer, and there was other things that happened, and there were people that came, especially one that just helped me through a very, very difficult time. I consider her a sister. I have several of them now. And then in February, something else happened. Hi, Disney. And all I wanted to do was just hide. That's all I wanted to do. And I remember that. It was the day of the eclipse, and I had my cup of coffee, and I'm crying in my coffee. And the lifeboat came on, and I go, I really don't want to even go in there. And I made myself go in there. I made myself go in. And I thought, I'm going to put this message in there. And I doubt Admiral Tommy's going to see it. Well, he saw it. And then I put something else in there. And he saw that too. Now, hi, Kristen. Every once in a while, we need to give those people that we love a little bit of a loving butt kick. And that's what I got that day. Now, I left that chat with not all my problems solved. They weren't that day. But I went out to a little park and I sat down and I got on my live stream before the eclipse happened. And I wasn't my cheerful self. I wasn't Mrs. Sunshine, this crazy girl calls it. I just came on. I told people I was having a struggle of a day, and I was. And I came on and showed everybody the eclipse. I didn't hide in the corner. And I had people reaching out to me saying, guess what? You don't get to hide in the corner anymore. We love you. We want to see you. So I took a snippet of that show that Tommy did because I figured out he can say it a heck of a lot better than I can of why and what connection really can do. So I'm going to give the floor to a minute to Admiral Tommy and let him tell it in an amazing way.
I am trying so hard not going into a hole of negative about myself. It is so hard, or beating myself up for who I am. Hiding in a corner is easier. Nonsense. Well, easier, yes, but there's absolutely nothing that you're going to get in that corner. That's the problem. It's way easier to hide in a corner. There's no question, right? However, if you're hiding in the corner, all of life is passing you by that you're not interacting, right? We know, Mary Jones, that connection, right, is the cure for everything. You've experienced this, right? So if you're hiding in the corner, you're not connecting. Mary Jones, you're sorry to dump at the lifeboat? That's it. You're getting chastised. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be nice, but you're getting chastised. Mary, we come here to dump. That is what the lifeboat is. This is where you come so that you don't suffer in silence. You're not allowed to apologize for dumping at the lifeboat. That's just silly. I love you, by the way, but you're not allowed to apologize for that.
I could not have said that better myself. And I thought I have to clip this because that was for me the guess what? He's so right. No, I really don't want to get out of this bed. And I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm going to let them old tapes play in my head that says, nobody wants to be this girl's friend. Nobody wants to get to know her. Nobody cares except for my family. And that is a lie. The biggest lesson that I have learned this year, the weekend before I turn 29 or 21, just as long as it's somewhere in the 20s, right? And if you haven't checked it out, go check out my birthday giveaway, right? If the biggest lesson I have learned is that we have got to stay connected. Is this YouTube place taking away from the live connections that you all need to find? Absolutely not. Please go find them. Go to your local community. Go to hold on a second. Go to your local community. Give me a minute, y'all. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, I'm back. I have a chair that is getting old, and every once in a while you'll see me just sink into the hole of nothingness, and I don't like that look. It makes me feel like, and it's doing it again. So if I sink, I sink. But I'm not sinking. Believe me, I'm floating. The biggest thing that I can tell y'all is find your ways of connection. This needs to be an added tool to your connection box. This thing needs to be an added tool. It needs to be something that you have in your back pocket when, like for me, there is a time when I'm really struggling. Fibromyalgia can hit my tail end like you can't believe. There are days when I have to stop everything in my path because I have gotten a cold chill that literally goes up and down my body. I know I'm hurting. I know I'm in pain. So, Mary, you got to stop everything and take care of yourself. And that may last 2 hours. I could have a migraine that could decide to pop out of nowhere. And so there's days that I literally just struggle. That is why we've started putting up video content as far as Topic Tuesday and or Topic Thursday and Devotion Tuesday and some other things. And we started adding some jokes and some Bible verses because we know that we have to have some video content so that the days when we're just not able to come live, we have that for you all to go back to. And if there's a lot of content that has been done on this channel, so if you need to get a fix for some more, go back and watch an older show that maybe you haven't seen. There's some great topics. If anybody would like to watch any of the playlist, that would be greatly appreciated. The first playlist shows how far we've come really in the backdrops and all the stuff that we've been able to do. That would be a great help and a great appreciation, any one of our playlists. But can I really encourage you? And I'm really finding out that people with the Lighthouse Monday come in and they're just like, how do you do this thing again? We've had to actually start putting in prompts into the chat that says, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? Just the simplest of conversation starters so that people can go and go, oh, okay, well, my favorite color is blue. Or my favorite color is purple. My favorite color is purple. Well, what kind of flowers? It just starts something. Don't stop going and having face-to-face connections with people. Those give and do something to your brain and your body and all that kind of stuff. It's good for you. But this tool that has been created, a lot of live streams, are a benefit into people connecting with each other. There are several people in this chat that have become dear friends. Several people in this chat that have become almost sisters. And I am forever grateful for. You can't always pick your family, but man, you can pick your friends. And I am an only child. I will never have the ability to have a sister or brother, but man, I got them. And I couldn't have picked better ones. Honest to goodness, I could go to them with about anything and trust them explicitly. That didn't happen in my local circle. That happened through here. It happened through the lifeboat. I can tell, even though I have, I'm able to tell if something's off. And I have several friends that I've met through the YouTube, and I've sat there going, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And I'm like, no, you're not. What's going on? How can you tell? I don't know, but I know. When I was raising my daughter who had special needs, I was raising her, and I'm telling you, this would have been a tremendous godsend to me. Because I was raising her, I was working, I was coming home, I was tired, and I would have loved to have connections and places to go and places to talk so that when I was really struggling, I wasn't struggling alone. Nobody needs to suffer in silence. I think that it somewhat saddens me to some degree, because I think that when you simulcast on, if one person, like we did with the lifeboat, And when you see these panels and they're all kind of simulcasting, I really think it shows something that YouTube is not seeing. And I'm not bashing them, but I'm just saying the big red button, whatever they want to call it, I think they're missing out that when people come to those channels and they see that the same stream is on 3 different channels, what are they seeing? Connection, connection, connection laid out right in front of them. Yes, you can take them and spend an hour here and then reconnect over here and then reconnect over here. Yes, you can do all that. But I think it loses something. Everybody that's coming to the stream is literally bringing their own unique style to it. Nobody's the same. And if you go to their channel, no channel is the same. I don't care if you're doing the same topic. It's still handled and done differently. They have different backdrops, different equipment, different lighting, different mic. Maybe they have a chair like mine that's old and that's going down. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is that saddens me. And I hope that there's a way to do it so that can continue, because I find those really fascinating. It's kind of how I learn about different channels and go in. Hi, Globies, different channels. And I go in and I see them and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to know the biggest lessons I've learned in this year before my birthday week, before, the weekend comes up, connection. It's no jaw-dropping piece of news. It's just simple stuff. But something that I'm finding out in Lighthouse Monday, we do not know how to do. I specifically, well, be careful as you're driving. Don't try. Listen. I'm glad you said hi, but drive safely. We appreciate you coming on in. I have picked a gentleman who, Alfonso, I didn't pick him, but he donated the music for Lighthouse Monday, and I'm so grateful. And it reminds me, kind of, as you're listening to this music, kind of being in an old-fashioned kind of, almost ice cream shop kind of thing, where you're listening to, those old pianos and kind of things. You're listening to that and you're having a cup of coffee, you're having ice cream or whatever. It just kind of reminds me of that kind of atmosphere, that old-fashioned kind of thing. And I think we somewhat need to get back to old-fashioned connections. Now, we're doing it through the red button as a way of facilitating some of that connection that's happening. But we shouldn't forget about all the ways we can connect with people person to person. But if you're someone that's maybe taking care of a special needs child or caretaking for somebody and think, I cannot go out and I'm too tired, I just can't. Don't lose the ability to come into places like this, to come into places like the Lifeboat, to come into places like Kristen Melinda, to come in places like Sandy, come in people that are doing live content, and start really getting into, different, using that as a way of connecting. It may be your only way of connecting. You may not have the ability, because of your energy level or your circumstances, to go out and volunteer someplace or get involved with a group. And so use this as a tool so that nobody suffers in silence. Nobody should. Not one person. And that's what I kind of got the day of that, when Admiral Tommy said to me, "Dump? This is the place to dump. If you got to dump, here's the place to dump." What happened in that whole thing was, by me being able to kind of just dump, got me out of bed. It got me connecting with people. And it got me to the point where I wasn't feeling so sorry for myself. And other people within the chat started to give me advice. Just starting to say, "We're here for you. What do you need? We're here if you need to talk, da 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 da." People were then not focusing so much on their problems as they were coming beside me and helping me with mine. And serving others and helping others is a great way to boost your mental health. Let's get back to old-fashioned connection. Challenge yourself. I just put it in there. I said, that's what we started kind of doing. I've got to come up with a lot more questions for Lighthouse Monday. But what's your favorite color? We found out Disney likes green. People like a purple. Donna likes green. If you read, it was a devotional done on how to find your people. And we started doing it in our church for our ladies' Bible studies. We would ask the most simplest of questions. And we would find out a lot, surprisingly, about people. And we stopped doing that. And I really kind of miss that. What happened by doing that is everybody that otherwise would be quiet and wouldn't talk started to participate within the conversation. If you're somebody that is going through a difficult time and for one reason or another just do not have the ability to get involved with many things, do not beat yourself up for that. If this is the place you are gaining friendships and connections and building a support team, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Because I can tell you that I will never go back. I can try. And boy, has my little mind at times played wonderful tricks on this girl. I can try. But there's too many people that now are going to say, you're not allowed. You don't get to hide in the corner anymore. And yes, we want to be your friend. You're important to us. You're a great supporter. You're a great friend. Because I don't want people thinking that when we do the live on the boat on Tuesday, that I'm doing it for any reason to get pats on the backs and happy birthday. Those are wonderful. I truly want to, at one point in that day, give back to a channel that literally has been life-changing. Now, the true life changer, of course, is Jesus. That's the true one. That, honest to God, that's the true one. I would have never guessed that, Sandy, that your favorite color is black. Something I learned today. Jesus is ultimately our life changer. He's the one that came down, High Crochet Queen, and died on the cross for our sins. And with him, we can be saved by accepting that in our hearts and accepting him as our Savior. But I literally thank God every day for the blessings of people through YouTube, through the Lifeboat, that I have made friends with and have grown into being they're sisters. There's some of them that are just, they're sisters. And I myself, unless I can produce one out of thin air, my mom can, that'll never be an option because I was an only child. And whatever happened. But it did. And I'm forever, ever grateful for that. Donna says, yes, it feels like a little weird sometimes, but really good at the same time. When I've been in lurker mode and pop back into the chat days later, people notice I am MIA, and I'm not used to that. Absolutely, 100%. 100%. Everybody here is special. And I cannot think. And I think to myself, if you want to know honestly, I would have never gone on to AA Ron's channel if it wasn't for the fact that I was an Elvis fan. See him on my back wall. I was interested in Elvis. I was interested in just finding out why, what drove Lisa and Priscilla Presley even think about going into Scientology. Elvis was not one that was at all in any way, shape, or form ever into it. He tried. He didn't spend very long, and he walked out there, never get my money. And so I was interested in that aspect of it. I knew it was all a bunch of garbage. I knew who, Jesus was our savior, and that was the truth, and whatever, not whatever, but that was the truth, and that was it. That was fact. But I found the lifeboat through that channel, and I went over and just supported him. And I would go into it. What I found out when I first went into it was, hi Maritza, was that I started learning about people within my family that may have had a drug and alcohol problem. I learned a lot. I never thought that it would be so impactful in my life 6 months later. But if I hadn't been an Elvis fan back when I was 12 years old, I wouldn't have wandered my little tail end into Aaron. And if Tommy hadn't decided to go on there and talk about prison and his experience, then I would have never found the lifeboat. I may have found it on a happenstance. I probably would have passed it over because I thought, I don't need this channel. I started making relationships, but again, where it made the impact was when I was in a really difficult time, that people within that channel started coming to life. And I no longer live with it in my head to say, nobody wants to be my friend. That tape is gone. It is crushed. And the minute it starts popping its ugly head out every once in a blue moon, I can go to anyone, hi Lydia, I can go to any one of the people within my close circle of dear friends and say, hey, or I can come on here. Y'all got to help me get rid of that tape. It's popping its ugly head up, and they're going to help me break it. I do not have any hundreds of copies of that tape anymore. It was a lie. And what I would do is I would go, okay, that feeling's coming up, that tape's coming up. So where am I going to go to? I'm going to go to the grocery store, pick up mint chocolate chip ice cream or Swiss rolls, and that's what I'm going to. Because for a moment, that feels good. So I know my example of saying, well, Tuesday, you're going to kind of be struggling. Where are you going to? Yeah. Give me a little grace. It's my birthday, right? But on any other day, I'm really watching a lot more closer. What am I running to? First, I need to run to Jesus. That's the first one. Absolutely. But he's also provided friends and community for me to run to when I'm struggling. That I can reach out and say, hey, I need help getting through this. That needs to be the first thing I run to. The biggest lesson was not, huge, but it was huge to me. And I can tell you it was an unexpected lesson this year. I didn't expect it. I would not be sitting here. We would not have started this channel if I hadn't found the lifeboat. Nobody's going to sit here and listen to me. We're sitting at over 700 people. Not by any, it's not by any, mishap. It's because we have something to talk about. And I look at this channel and I think, thank you, Lord, for all the blessings that you have given. And why did I want to start this channel? I went to my mom because it's really her channel. And she's not a video person. So she said, Mary, you do it. I don't want any. Eventually, we'll get to the point where we were going to get halfway there and monetize. But where are all those funds going? Those funds are going right to. They're going right to. They're going right to. They're going right to. To. They're going right to my mom. I don't want them. I am doing this selfishly, if you want to call it, for the basis of connecting with people and showing people, hey, this is, you want to know how to get through this life? First of all, put your faith in Jesus. Make him your savior. But if you want to get through this life too, make sure you have connections. Make sure you have your five. Make sure you have people you can lean on. And outside of my family, I don't consider any of my family. They're just there. But you need people that are sometimes not in the situation and not in the circumstance of whatever's going on, right? To literally get the glass, when you're in a situation and you're going through it emotionally, when I take my glasses off, everybody's fuzzy. When I put them back on, everything's clear. You need those people outside of your family that may be going through the emotional situation you're going through and literally see it from a much clearer perspective. And that's what connection does. That's what friendship does. Whether you find it here, you find it at your church, you find it through a community group, you find it through volunteering, however you find it, know you're worthy of somebody caring about you. You're worthy about somebody connecting with you. You're worthy enough to have friends. You're worthy enough to not get through this life without people. I don't care what you do. Food's not going to give it to you. Drugs and alcohol are not going to give it to you. And if you are addicted to drugs and alcohol, please reach out to the lifeboat. Do not try to stop any of those cold turkey or without medical assistance. There is hope for living a life without being addicted to drugs and alcohol. There is medically assisted treatment. You can get it. You do not have to do this life by yourself or she didn't, Dawn, I just dropped her link. Because she's one of my mods. So I give my mods a little credit and drop their links. I just really want everybody to understand that. There is hope out there if you're dealing with that. Don't stop cold turkey. But I'm telling you, nothing is going to fill here. That connection is not going to help. Connection is so much better because when you isolate yourself, like I wanted to do that day, or when you're going to sit there and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to go into this bottle, right? Or this drug, and I'm going to use that. That becomes your friend. It lies to you. And it will continue to lie to you as long as you're doing it. I could go sit down and eat a whole box of Swiss rolls. How am I going to feel afterwards? Probably pretty yucky. Is it going to help the problem? No, it's going to gain me 5 pounds. It's going to make a difference. We need to make sure that we are having that support. You know, if you think about it and you put, um, you know, if you think about pillars, I'm going to use Graceland as an example. If you go to Graceland, there's these huge pillars by the front door. Well, guess what? If them pillars weren't there, the whole roof on the front's coming right down. They're supporting the roof above. Pillars in our lives can be our friends. They're support beams up for us. And not that I didn't realize that beforehand, but what happens a lot of times is when you are going through a difficult situation or circumstance, like when I was raising my daughter, when I was having my dad who, yep, people do different things. Those things don't judge them. Yep. They don't judge. They don't talk. They don't tell you, right? There goes my light. I try not to kick that thing, and every once in a while it just comes out. It kicks. The light kicks. Let's try this again. Let me get my light back on. And I'll get back to what I'm saying. There we go. Magic, right? The thing about it that we have to realize here is when I was going through the situation with my daughter, and when I was going through the situation with my dad with dementia, not that people didn't want to be my friend, but they had no idea how to help me. Instead of coming in and say, what can we do? And honest to goodness, that would have been the simplest answer in the world. Can you just come beside me? Can you just come over and just sit with me? But instead of people not knowing how to do it, my daughter got diagnosed with diabetes. There was people that came around. There was other people that also did this. She had people that she would hang around with that now she's a diabetic. They don't know how to handle it. They didn't want to deal with it, so they didn't have her over. And so instead of coming in and saying, what can we do? Maybe it would have been to fix a meal. Maybe it would have been just to come over and just say, I'm bringing a cup of coffee. What can I do? They did this. What did that do to me? Except for my family, I didn't have much support. I had one lady, and she has since passed away, did not have children of her own, but was a special ed teacher. She was the one person that I could call, Lori, and call up and say, I'm having a day. And she'd understand. She goes, I know exactly what it is, because she was in that field. She knew what I was going through. See, we forget that we may not be going through a situation or have experienced a situation that somebody's going through. But it would have meant the world to me if somebody or a friend, a classmate of my daughter's mom would have said, listen, I'd like to take you out to lunch. And then sat down with me and said, you know what, I don't understand this because I'm not around it. But can you please tell me what your life is like to deal with a child? And let me see how I can help ease that a little bit? No, never happened. And that made my world about yay big. We didn't go out. Why? Because we were too tired. Why? Because sometimes it was just, we're having a difficult day. Now in my life, after now I've raised my daughter, my dad is no longer here. I'm now faced with a disability since 2013 that forever changed me. I wanted so much to be able to come on. It was, as I told my therapist, it's part of my she said, you need this. You need this YouTube community, because she said it is part of your therapy. Talking is part of my therapy. My family goes, you can, hi Precious Gems, you can talk a lot, can't you? And I said, yes, I can. And so I need this. I need to get on. I need to talk. I need to talk through things. I know that I do not have the ability to come on Everyday Live. I just don't. That's why we've started adding content like recording this 10 times harder than doing live streams, because you have to sit there and edit it. But I know I can't. I forgot what day it was, Saturday. And we were going to go see my daughter. I literally could not get out of my own way. I said to my mom, I am so tired. I'm not one of the people that ever falls asleep in the car, ever, because of my anxiety. Never. And I was literally just having a struggle staying awake. I was really, really tired. And so Sunday we went to church, and then we went out for a little birthday celebration. And we came in, and it was about 8 o'clock that night. And I said, you know what? I usually we get up and we go to our therapist a Monday morning. And I said, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I just couldn't do it. I really honestly was too tired to do it. And so I texted my therapist and I said, I honestly wasn't feeling well. I said, I'm tired and I'm not feeling well. And I'm not coming in. And it was one of the best decisions I made. Canceled it for next Monday because we will be tired. And I said it was one of the best decisions I ever made, because I was really tired. I was just exhausted. Worst thing I could have done was gotten up Monday morning and gone and sat in a therapist's office. I slept in. I had my coffee. I just relaxed. I crocheted the rest of the day away, and I needed it. So for somebody like me, that I look perfectly normal to everybody on the other side of the screen, there are days, a lot more days than I would like, where I really am I'm not having it. I'm just, for whatever reason, migraines popped up, this or that, whatever it is. But now I have friends, and to some degree sisters and brothers, that when I'm getting down in those dumps, boy, they're right there. And I said to myself, one of the things when I have grandchildren one of these days, way down the road, one of the phrases that I'm going to say to them is this: if you have the opportunity, and I may say it when they're younger, they're going to hear it from me. You have the opportunity to go listen to somebody that is making that is a billionaire or a millionaire, and they would fly you to wherever they're going to fly you to. And you have their undivided attention for 2 years or for two hours. to sit and listen and gleam everything you can off of them for 2 hours of how they got to that point. Take that opportunity. But do you realize the priceless wisdom and knowledge you are getting from your parents and your grandparents and your family around you? You don't have to fly anywhere. They love you unconditionally. I love them before they're even born. Hopefully they're in our past down the road, and I love them even before they come here. Don't forget the little nuggets of information that you have gleaned over your lifetime from all of these people that have done nothing but tried to give you wisdom so that you can avoid a pitfall. If you would sit there and fly to Timbuktu to go sit with all those millionaires and billionaires for 2 hours to get all the information and how you could be in that boat and in that class, don't forget that you are getting priceless knowledge and wisdom from the people that surround you and love you. And that doesn't necessarily mean, in this case, always, depending on your family structure, your family. Sometimes it's people that if you have made your family, like the sisters that I have come to love, and the friends. Now, not every piece of information do we need to say, oh yeah, that's one I need to do. But the real nuggets of wisdom and truth, and sometimes often about ourselves, we need to pay attention to. This is my phrase for this year. And it is going to be my phrase until I leave this world. Oh, no, that's not. Well, that's not that one. Wrong one. It's a good one, but it wasn't the one I wanted. It wasn't the one that I wanted. Where is it? This one. Right? A disco ball is hundreds of pieces of broken glass put together to make a magic ball of light. You ain't broken, you're a disco ball, and I love it. It's one of my newest favorite phrases. I'm a bunch of broken pieces. I'm also a child of God, and I'm also saved through his blood. And I can be a shining light out there to people. And I can be broken, and I can come as just how you like me or you don't. Not everybody has to like me. Not everybody is going to like me. I've got one of those personalities that, yeah, I got a strong one. That one's because of my dad. My dad has a strong personality. I've never met a stranger. But you go and listen to some of the people in this chat and ask how much Blessed to Crochet is supportive of other channels. And they will tell you they're there supporting. I make sure that I'm subscribing to places. We're going into live content. I'm going into other people's channels and into their comments and going to their channels and checking them out and giving them that little bump and that little blessing as far as I'm concerned. We are making sure that we're helping and giving back because people have given so much to us. When this channel does get at least halfway there, we're about 1,400. We got 1,400 watch hours to the 3,000. I don't want a dime of it. I wanted to go to my mom because she has some debt that she needs to take care of. And she said when that's done, she wants to start putting money away for my husband who needs a diabetic service dog. It's going to cost about $15,000, and yes, it's 1,000 to 20,000, so that the dog that we currently have, we don't have to rehome because she has been through too much, and we won't rehome her. And so we have to find an organization that will work with training both Mocha to accept the dog and vice versa. I want to give to our church. I want to give to the lifeboat so more people can get medically assisted treatment. And I want to be able to set up, and we want to be able to set up what's called blessing boxes. If you're someone that's on a fixed income and loves to crochet and knit and needs yarn, hey, we'd love to be able to send it, maybe put an adult coloring book in it and say, here, now I want you to take this, find an organization, whether it's Crochet for Cancer, there's ones that you can crochet items for military, there's ones you can crochet and knit items, blankets for animal shelters, and you can then go bless somebody else while you're doing something to help you mentally and physically. That's what I want to do. Hi, Jaden. That's what I want to do. I don't want any of it because I'm getting my therapy through the connection. That's to me, that's priceless. But I keep going back to the fact that people do not know how to do this anymore. They really don't. And if I can say anything to you about the biggest lesson I've learned, get into connecting however you need to do it for yourself. There are some days that I could go and do things. And there's other days where no, it's not happening. I need to either wear very loose clothing, soft clothing. I need to just, I'm tired. I may have slept for 8 hours, but it sure didn't feel like I slept for 8 hours. I'm sore. I had something happen recently. I went out of bed, put my foot on the floor. I couldn't walk. I literally was in bed for 2 days because putting any weight on my foot was excruciating. I don't know what I did. I wasn't going out any place. And I had to ask for help. So if I could say anything to all the people that are here and all the people that are going to watch on this replay crew, guess what? Get involved with connection however you need to do it. And if the big red button says, guess what? You cannot, right? You cannot do simulcasting anymore. That if you do, we're going to ding you. Then guess what? To me, that's a shame. Because it's something that I think is going to affect a lot of channels that have kind of showed people the foundations of just starting to connect with each other. And what I'm seeing in a lot of yarning communities is that they're really doing a lot of panels, that they're utilizing it and connecting with each other and bringing different communities together. And I think it's really going to affect it in a way that I don't think if that everybody is really thinking about. And whoever the uppers ups are not really looking at it from the perspective that we're looking at it. So just because this is what they said and now we got to do this way, fine, we'll do it. But everybody that's in the lifeboat, go support your ripples. If you found a channel that you love, go place them on your community tab. That's what it's there for. Flood your community tab with listen, go check it out. If you've got a community tab, flood it. If you've got Facebook and you see something, share it. If you miss it, something, go watch it on the replay. If you want to support that channel, go watch their playlist. Come to Lighthouse Mondays. I'm actually seeing more of those pop up recently, where people are just putting just a picture on the screen and they're just letting people chat. And I'm realizing people just do not know how to do it if somebody isn't in on the other side of the camera. They just, where do you start? You start simple. That's why we've started putting in those little questions for people to start asking. Now, I'm I did put this on the Blessed to Crochet Facebook page. It is also in our private group if you haven't checked out. I forgot what I put that in. Was it Lighthouse? I know I put it in. I can't remember. Our Lighthouse Facebook group, if you haven't gone to check that out, please go check that out. There's a great place to connect. I forgot what I did. I forgot what I did. I know I did it somewhere. I can't remember which one I did it. It was a command, and I can't remember what command I gave it to. I know what I did now. I know what I did. It's going to go, okay. Now I know what I did. I know, because I wanted everybody to be beacons of light. That's what it was. So if you haven't, go check that out. Go check out that group and connect. And we're going to keep at this whole Lighthouse Mondays and connections. Because one of the things and the goals of this channel for me was I didn't want anybody to suffer in silence. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I'm not trying. But it's an emotional topic for me. Because I remember being in the loneliest part of my life when I just had to keep going and I had my family. God, thank Him for that. But I'd have given anything to be able to have a friend that I could call on the phone and ugly cry to. Because I had a day from hell and high water. I will never forget the day. And I prayed for it. I said, God, let my dad forget my name first. Because I knew my daughter couldn't handle it. I know it would be devastating to her for my dad to forget my name first. Or her name first. And he forgot my name first. And I remembered when he looked at me that first time. And I said, Dad, who am I? And he didn't know who I was. He didn't have the foggiest idea who I was. And I thought, okay. And I had to sit there and go, thank you, Lord. And I had my husband to run to, and I had all that to run to. And I had to do everything I could to keep it together. Because when I started crying around my dad, he'd start crying. Whenever I started crying around my mom, she'd cry. So I had to not do it. But people can't imagine what it's like to look at your dad, who you've known for X amount of years, 40 plus years, who you look and say, who am I? And your dad has no idea who you are. He can't say your name. He can't say that you're his daughter. Nothing. And boy, did I need a friend to go running to ugly cry to. And understand that it may say, well, you could have run to your mom or you could have run to your dad or your husband. And I did. Those were people in the situation. They were in the circumstances. They were going through it with me. If I went to my mom, I take off my glasses for a minute, so I can't really read anything much. But if my mom was going through it, she used to say she used to go to work every day crying in the car. Why do I want to burden my mother with it? I don't want to burden her with it. I need to be strong for her because she's losing her husband. My husband was grieving the loss of his father-in-law, who my dad was like a father to him. He didn't have a father, and my dad became that father for him. So all he could do was hold me, but it was just equally as hard on him as it was on me. Couldn't go to my daughter. What was I doing? The opposite of what we're trying to do here. The opposite of suffering in silence. I spent a lot of time crying in the shower, crying in the car on the way to work when I was working, doing all that. Screaming into a pillow, doing whatever it was, but it wasn't two people. Hi, Cosmic. It wasn't two people. Don't replace your in-person connections. Hi, Vicky. Don't replace them. But this tool that you all have, that the lifeboat has, one son. I am so sorry, Cosmic. One, Sonny. Whatever you're going through, please, if you feel, well enough to talk about it, please do. Reach out to somebody. Don't suffer in silence. What the lifeboat has done by saying we're not going to pigeonhole ourselves, right, to being a drug and alcohol channel. We're going to make it a sobriety channel. We're going to stretch that even further and make it a connection channel. Is why this girl is no longer allowing herself to suffer in silence. I have a voice. I have things I've been through and I can talk about them. And boy, can I talk. Hi, Becca. We're going to get through this together. And Cosmic, if you need to reach out to me, please do. We're going to get through it together. Nobody's doing this by themselves. The biggest lesson I have learned before my birthday on Tuesday is connection, connection, connection. Because I have been through it when I have been through everything, and the connection hasn't been there. And there's sometimes your family is going through the same muck that you are. And they need, hey, Delphine, they need to be able to have, they can't, it's too much. You need places you can go to and say, hey, I need to talk. I need a place to ugly cry to. And I don't think I'll ever get to the point. Thank you, Lydia. I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I can tell that story about my dad forgetting my name without bringing tears to my eyes. But in the sense here that I want everybody to realize is you have in your phone the ability to never suffer in silence, but we don't utilize it as much as we should. We don't knock on our neighbor's door and say, hey, how are you? Or bring them a chicken or bring them cookies or whatever. Can I sit down and talk? No, we don't do that anymore. We don't know necessarily how to start a conversation. What's this whole connection thing? How do we do it? So can I challenge you, as I give you a birthday gift this year, to really say, I am going to work on connecting with other people. And if your comfort zone is YouTube, if that's all you can do, then don't feel ashamed diddly dang on about it. Embrace it. If you are dealing with, again, raising a special needs child, caregiving for somebody, having a disability like fibromyalgia, where I have my good days and my bad, and I have to kind of weigh what it is. But then start, if you can, taking your toe and maybe stepping out of your comfort zone just a little bit. Find a group that you can start. Maybe it's a crochet group in your neighborhood. There's a local thing, and I have to do it too, and I forgot to do it. I have to register for it. Where they do a grandpal, and they pick people to start writing to kids in the local school. And oh, well, thank you, Cosmic. Big hugs. All right. You have a blessed day, Becca. Thank you for watching on the replay. And you write to the kids. You're given a kid for the year, and you go back and forth. They practice their writing. You write to them back and forth, and then at the end of the year, you have a pizza party, and then you get to meet the person that you've written to this whole entire time. And I love it. I love the concept of it. Maybe it's doing something like that. Just taking a moment, or maybe saying, you know what, I don't normally go to Wednesday night church, but maybe I'm going to start going to Wednesday night church. My husband and I are saying we're going to go do the thing at the Y and go to a water aerobics class. Very gentle. That's all I can do. And we've found our way around not going for, I don't know how long. Well, when we come back from our birthday party, we're going. Start getting in a routine. Maybe it's going to a senior's lunch. Maybe it's going to calling up a friend you haven't called for a while and say, let's go have a cup of coffee. I don't care what you need to do, but you've got to start expanding that circle. And here's another real good point about it. I'm going to get off here soon, so I have to do a little packing. Understand this. There are going to be people that you are going to connect with or go out with that personality-wise, I don't care what in the heck you try to do, you're just not going to go, we're friends. They may like you. They may be, just social and all that kind of jibber jabber, but they are not going to be instantly bonded to you. It takes 200 hours to build a friendship. We've done a lot more silly things in 200 hours. But there's some people, I don't care how much time you invest in them. It's just your personalities just don't, it's not that you don't mess, but you know what? You get along, but you know what I mean? I have some people in my family, love them to death. And I'm there if they need me any time or day, and they know it. But we're just in different stages of life. We've got different personalities. And so we just have to balance that. Spend your time into people that you connect with. For instance, I'm going to use Krista Melinda as a perfect example. She is in the process of raising a special needs child. And I've been there. I've done that. But we connect. We're like sisters. We connect in such a wonderful way, where she knows I don't care what time of day it is. You can call me. You can ugly cry. You can do whatever. I'm investing my time into that friendship because it is it's such an easy friendship. It's not a friendship that it still takes work, but it's not like this effort to, It's not like taking a square peg and putting it in a round circle. Um, it doesn't mean that we don't need to work on those friendships and those relationships. We do, and those connections. But um, who am I going to gravitate to a little bit more? I'm going to gravitate towards people that I just get along with really easily. It doesn't mean we don't need to be a light to the people that and practice connecting with people that are a little bit more of a struggle and that our personalities don't get along really well. All right, thank you. I appreciate it, Lydia. Um, for instance, my my I love my son-in-law, but when I'm around him, I know that he's way we've kind of raised our daughter and our family situation is very Greek style. And we're just talking talking and we talk at the table and sometimes we talk over each other and everything. Well, he's not used to that. And I tend to have a little bit of I have a strong personality and sometimes around him, I need to dial that back a little bit. I need to realize that I need to pay really close attention that I'm not interrupting anybody. And that's a great trait. You're not interrupting anybody and that I'm kind of, not overwhelming him and all that. And so I'm pay attention to that. Why? Because he's important to me. He's my son-in-law and I care about him and I love him. And he's important enough to make sure that I am putting my time and my effort in to having a relationship with him. But if there's a person in your life that you're going, I want to be in that clique in that circle and it's just not happening, don't try to push it. Still be friends with them, still connect with them, still be that beacon of light, but focus on the people in your life that, man, it's just almost effortless. You just get along, you're great friends. It still takes time and it still takes work. But again, you're not trying to get that square thing into a round hole. And so focus on those. Focus on connections, taking those first steps, saying hello. I had a dear friend, she still is. Her name is Cindy, and I hope to have her on one day. And I met her through Premier Designs Jewelry, and she would go up and just hand people out and, catalog and come over and say hello and connect. And that's actually how she met Lori, my dear friend who I could relate to when it came to Christina. And she thought that it would be a great way for us to connect with each other because Christina and Lori's was in special needs. She was dealing with she was a special needs aid, and so she thought that would be a great connection, and it really was. If it hadn't been for me meeting Cindy, I would have never met Lori, and we would have never had that amazing friendship. So, also take the time to see if maybe you have some friends, have them all over for a night, and maybe there's people within your circle of friends that, would make a really good friend for somebody else that you know. So, you know what? Have a friend night. And, if you can't, hi, Kristen, if you can't do it in person, there is Zoom, there is Facebook Messenger. Do things that can bring other people together to make those connections and those friendships. So anybody that is here, that has come, that is new, maybe sees me going on a little bit of a rant today. It's just because I want you all to understand that the biggest lesson I've learned this year is connection and the power behind it. The ability to connect and the ability to be able to have those relationships. Let's help channels that are doing good things and good connection points. Let's help them grow. Let's help them, do what they do what they need to do best and all that kind of stuff. We're trying to make this channel very much, and I will say this, not political. I do talk about Jesus, and I will, political or anything kind of like that. So I know that, what month this is and the emojis that YouTube's created, and they're getting removed if they're put in the chat, not because we don't want to, we're trying to be, mean or anything. We just want to keep all of that out. Political and all that other kind of stuff, we just want to keep it out. We want the main focus of this channel to be connection, connection, connection. We don't want to bring political and all that kind of stuff into this. It's not the purpose of it. It's not the reason for it. This channel was created for the purpose of trying to help us kind of get through really difficult times and just being there in those connections. And I know that there's channels that come in here that have come in here that I haven't dropped their links, and I you know, I appreciate those, because we try very hard to drop the links of people that come in this channel, especially people that are here supporting us. Absolutely, we are just so grateful that for them beyond belief. Honest to goodness. But I would encourage you to come back on Lighthouse Mondays, because that's where we really try to focus on two things: connecting people with people, having you all start. Hi, it's a good Matt. It's a not magic. Connecting people that are connecting people with other people, as well as connecting people with other channels that they can go support and we enjoy, and that get a lot of wonderful feedback. So if you come in the chat on Mondays and you have a channel, especially ones that we support and we recognize, we will gladly 100% put them in the chat. I don't know how to do it. I know eventually, because the channels are growing, which is a good thing, right? It's a good problem to have. Be able to do it some way so that we can, be able to set up some kind of, list or somehow, some way that y'all could go there and just find the channels that way. I don't know how to do it, because I think eventually we're going to run out of room on our description page. But that's down the road. But can I really, really encourage you that that's what we're trying to do. I really do try to focus on when people come in, let my moderators know, the channels that they can place, of course, and I'm trying to get Nightbot in so that we've got some easy codes to be able to drop and all that kind of stuff. But we're doing it because these are the channels that are getting dropped are the ones that are doing live content. The ones that are providing really good sources of information, clean, nice, creative, and again, are supportive of us as well. That's what I wanted. That's what we want to do. And I'm willing to collaborate with anybody. And if people want to come and we do it now, where we have to do an hour on our channel, and then we do an hour on their channel and all that, that's wonderful. We can do it that way. Absolutely. I think sometimes the rules that are being made are not looked at from a perspective of sometimes they're just made to be made without looking at all the ramifications that are there. Yeah, and that's fine. It's a not magic. That's fine. I understand that there are people that don't do live content. And we would drop your link, because and I'm talking about not just doing live content, but doing live content and those that are doing creative content and helpful. I'm trying to avoid positive stuff is more what I'm looking at. I want it to be where if we're going to drop a link in the chat, it's positive, it's uplifting, it's helpful, it may have live content, it may not have live content. And with Alfonso, one of the things that, as we were talking, and he said, how do you avoid the trolls, of course? And I said, there's only one way to avoid them. You make sure you have moderators. You can't do it without them, because they're going to block them when they need to block them. And sure enough, he did a beautiful, beautiful, yep, you can go, you can do it, but you don't have to show yourself. Absolutely. There, and so he made me a moderator, and he did a concert. What did I do on my side? On my side, I did one where it was streaming, and I was playing his music, but I was sending people over to his channel. So people will come in my chat, and I say, okay, come over to his channel. And that's what we'll have to do because of the red button rules, but or what the red button's doing. But at the same time, I just, sure enough, there was somebody that came in that said something that wasn't very pleasant, and he had a delightful time. We had a delightful time. The people in the chat had a delightful time. The person got booted. And I don't think that you can do, unfortunately, something for good. Always there's something negative. I don't think you can do this without having moderators. I think if you're going to go live, you need moderators. You need moderators you can trust. You need moderators that are going to do what you ask them to do. They're coming into your house. They're coming into your house and doing it, and they need to be respectful. And I agree. I agree. And Magic, if that's what you need to do for your own well-being, then that's what you need to do. You run your channel as you want to run your house. If you go live, the only thing that I would say is if you go live, you have people that are going to have your back. Only way to do it. Hi, Rick. Rick, I would gladly be a moderator for you. You know that. I would gladly be a moderator. You want to make me one? You got it. We're all here to support because we're all in the same boat, right? So I will also be on, and I don't know how she's going to work it now with what came about with the whole thing, I guess. And we'll see. It'll change next week, I think. I honestly think it's like before you know it, they're going to change it again. I will be on Dawn Yarndall on the 26th. I just don't know if it's going to be solely on her channel or whether she's going to do it. I don't know how she's going to work it now. But I will be on her panel, probably just on her channel. I don't know how she's going to do it on the 26th. I'm looking forward to that. She has been a great supporter of this channel. I'm very thankful for that. I'm very grateful for that. So go check that out for the 26th. I will be on there on the 26th. And of course, Monday, we will have my Lighthouse Monday before I turn 29 again. I'm going to see if, I see if Kristen Melinda is doing a stream. I know she's done what she needed to do this week, but she's taking it easy, and I'm proud of her. If she's doing a live stream on Tuesday, I thought maybe she would have me as a birthday guest. I'd be glad to do that. And I will spend my day really enjoying that. I'm going to ripple off the lifeboat because I just want to say thank you so much for that. And, I want to I just want to really kind of sadden me today that I couldn't ripple off the lifeboat and really just say to everybody, hey, if you want to know the biggest lesson I've learned, get connected, stay connected. Don't allow anything else to overtake that. Drugs, alcohol, food, whatever. It's not going to be the way that you're going to get through this thing that we call life. We're going to get through it together. We're not going to get through it any other way. I thank you for allowing me to shed a tear. I'm going to connect with people that day. I don't know now if I'm going to I may change the giveaway. If you all haven't had a chance to check out my giveaway, the giveaway we're doing for this channel, go ahead and check it out. I don't know if I may be changing that a little bit because of everything. We'll see. My pod. So if you want to, go check that out, and then we'll give that away. If you haven't, just on a little side note, those people that have entered into the birthday giveaway, there are a few, and I haven't been able to comment on any because I didn't want to bring any trolls out. There are a few that have either not put the right word, the correct word in, or have not put in they put the correct word in, but they haven't put the other part of the phrase in. So if you've put in the word in, but you haven't put in the phrase and your name's chosen, you're not going to get, we'll be choosing another name. If you are not within the 48 states, we'll be choosing another name. So please make sure, I saw that, Kristen, please make sure that you've got the correct phrase, the correct word, and make sure that you have that you're only within the 48 states, because if you're out of that, we'll be drawn in again. Once this channel is bigger, we can maybe think about doing it further, but for right now, it has to be within the continental 48 states. We can't do it to Alaska and Hawaii and Puerto Rico and all that. So it has to be within the 48 states. So if you've entered and you're in the 48 states and you've done the correct word and you've done the correct phrase and your name is picked, then of course you will get it. But if your name is picked and those things are not in there, then there'll be another name chosen. And it's just the way it is. So please take an opportunity to go back to the birthday video if you've entered. I know, Kristen, you did it just fine. And make sure you're entering the correct word, and all that kind of stuff, and so forth. So anyway, and maybe if Kristen Melinda has a chance, she can go test that pepper bacon jam, because that's in the giveaway, and she'll let people know how delicious it is. We can't eat pepper, so we can't enjoy it, but I knew she would enjoy it. So anyway, I'm going to get off here because I've been on here a lot longer than I thought, and I have to go to the store and get a bag for. We decided not to go to the baby shower that I made the baby blanket for, because we were going away again this weekend. It was just too much. So we've got to go to get some cards and stuff. And then I got a $10 coupon for at Kohl's. And I thought, I'm going to go treat myself. So I'm going to go do those two things. And then I have to pack. But Rick, if you want to make me a moderator, we got your back. We got to have everybody's back. So if you want me to let you know the biggest lesson I've learned from 2013 or this year is stay connected, everybody. It truly does make a huge, huge difference. And I am so appreciative of everybody here. I don't know if I still have it in here. Let me see. Hold on a second. I may or may not have it. Hold on. Let's see if we have it. No, it's not that one. So I wonder if I still have it. Hold on. Please hold. Do I have it in here somewhere still? Nope, I didn't. I got rid of it. I'll have to put it back in here, I think. No, maybe it's the Lighthouse Mondays. Hold on a second. Hold on. Is it in here? Oh, here. The best way that I could say it is that we all love you very much, and we're so grateful for your support. But I'm going to have somebody else say it. This was a dog that we fostered. He went to a forever home. We fostered him for 4 months, but Christina taught him to say something that I would like to say to each and every one of you. And I think it's adorable. I love you. I love you. I love you. So that's I love you today. I've added that. I thought was a great way to how to live for now. I thought that was a great way to tell everybody how much y'all are loved and hope that brighten your day up a little bit. And I know he was adorable. His name was Hunter, and at one point he sounds like Chewbacca. I can't even do it. But it's what got him into his Forever Home was that video. But he was our first staffy, and I swore after that I was never gonna take care of another staffy again. And then we have Mocha. Um, and so she is a delight, and we love her, of course, and we're thankful for her. But anyway, and I don't know if anybody, I don't think I've got it in here. I've got this one here. I can show you this. This is the Mochas, of course. They all know Mocha, right? That's my daughter. That's the current staffy that we have. That's the Mocha. That's the Mocha girl. That's the one that's the super short superstar. So if you all can do me, I have one birthday request. Everybody that's in here and everybody that's part of the replay. If you do me a favor, please go to those that are new. Please go to our playlist. Now we have a main playlist. It's called Tuber Chat playlist. And if you are a small channel, go check out Tuber Chat. They're amazing. They've been so helpful. And another one I'm going to put in here. These are two channels that if you have a small channel, go and go over, subscribe to them. They're great helps and assistance. Make sure, of course, you're subscribed and like the lifeboat. But take a moment. We have a huge one. It is called Tuber Chat Main. It's got like 130 things, and I'm not asking anybody to watch that one. But we have other playlists. Go and watch any one of those playlists. We would tremendously appreciate it. If you haven't seen a show, go back and just watch it. Go listen to it in the background. You know, it would mean a lot. We're about halfway point. My hope was for this channel that we got to 500 by my birthday. We got there. We got there. My other hope was that we got to the 3,000 watch hours, which we didn't. But we're going to get there. I have every confidence we're going to get there because our anniversary for this channel will be January, and so our shows, January of 2025. And I really don't want to restart everything all over again and have to lose a bunch of watch hours because January falls around. So if you have an opportunity to go and just support us that way and watch the playlist, that is the only birthday gift that I will be asking for, is just those that haven't, just go find some ones and go help with that. It would mean the world to us. Share us out. Share us on your community tab if you have the ability to have a community tab. Take the thing, share it on your Facebook page. You know what? That's how we're going to foster the connection. That's how we're going to that's how we're going to do it. If YouTube wants to say, well, this part of YouTube, now if you do, you're going to get dinged. Well, you know what? There's ways that we can still foster connection and keep going and sharing people out that are really fostering it. And as I'm talking, I'm going down, 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 and down. This chair. There's got to be a way to fix it so I don't go down, 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 down. But I'm not down because I got wonderful friends and wonderful connections. I'm so thankful. So I'm going to get off of here. Just one thing, when you see our outro and our intro and outro, if anybody ever wants to take that and ram it up a little bit and do better than I did, go right ahead. But the outro that we have, there's a picture that I use and that I always want to be in the outro, because when my dad passed away, it was I remember Christina was starting to date someone, and I just had this feeling like this was going to be the one. And we ended up going to a park, and it was their first date because they lived about 3 hours away. They met in Honey Harmony. And I remember sitting there and I thought, Dad, I really wish you could see this special time in Christina's life. And he had just passed. This was 2021. Yeah, 21. No. Yeah, 21. And this was February, and he had passed in January of 21. And I had gotten out of the car. It was snowing, and I gotten out of the car, and I had taken a picture of this beautiful sun coming through the trees. The trees. And I just thought it was a beautiful picture. I got in the car and looked down at the picture, and I said, oh my gosh, I started crying. Joe says, what's wrong? I said, God is showing me that my dad's watching. Because through the clouds, through the trees, not through the clouds, through the trees, literally, if you look, was a picture of the sun in the shape of a cross. And I thought, Lord, thank you. Because sometimes in our darkest times and the difficult times, we have to remember to run to the cross. Run to the feet of it, run to Jesus. And that was my reminder that, yeah, my dad was watching. And he was with Jesus. He was whole. He was happy. He knew who I was. He remembered everything. And he was in God's grace. And if you look at that picture on the outro out, if anybody wants to ever take our outro and say, here, send me the picture and you can do a better job than I do, that's great. Then go ahead and do that. If anybody also, I have one person that's working on it, but we have our logo, and I'd like to get that started on some of in our merch store. But the logo that we have, I love, but it needs to be cleaned up so that it's able to get onto fourth wall. So if anybody does that well, can they please reach out to me? Our email is in the description below, and I will send it if they would like to gift that to us. That would be very much appreciative. I want to keep the logo. It's great, but it just needs to be cleaned up. It needs to be, I guess, better, whatever stuff you all do that. I've got the specs or whatever. I guess the specs aren't what it needs to be. So we can start putting that on some of fourth wall merchandise. So if anybody wants to do that, go right ahead. But on the way out, pay attention to that picture. Pay attention to remembering that God is here in the midst of the darkness, the midst of the storms, but he also gives us connections and people to be able to help us through that as well. But we always need to run first to the foot of the cross, first to Jesus. Because he is our Savior. He is the way, the truth, and the light. And nobody will enter into heaven without him. But I know where my dad is. My dad is walking those streets of gold. He is in heaven with him. And I'm so grateful that one day I will see my dad again, whole and in one piece. And I will walk again with him, but on those golden streets, hopefully many years down the road. As one of these days, I want to see them little grandbabies. So everyone have a great night. I will probably be live streaming from the car tomorrow because we will be on the road. But I will see everybody later. Stay connected, everybody. It truly can make a huge, huge difference. And it is the biggest lesson I've learned before I turn another year on my birthday on Tuesday. Thanks you for joining me for this time. And we're all going to get through this thing together. We're all in the same boat. Stay connected, y'all. Bye.